Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has been engaging the business community in Qatar, leading to the signing of a 7-point agreement. Speaking at the Nigeria-Qatar Business and Investment Forum in Doha, President Tinubu told Qatari investors that Africa's largest economy and its systems are being reformed and upgraded. He asked Qatar's captains of industries to report any government official who demands a bribe or any form of inducement at any point in their business endeavor moving forward, with full assurance of their direct access to the president's office. In the meantime, Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State said agriculture was one area that Nigeria's business community can benefit from. Nigeria and Qatar jointly have stakes in the future of gas, as the debates are on as to the future of gas in the energy transition plans. The Ministry of Youth Development was able to mobilize youth to Qatar on the President Tinubu's instructions to engage with their business community for mutual benefits. Now, joining us on the news is Dr. Ambrose Idoke, International Affairs Analyst, and he'll be talking to us more about this. Thank you so much, Dr. Idoke, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So if you recall, we had an engagement earlier this past week, I guess, as regards the bilateral tie the Nigerian government is willing to strengthen with Qatar, and you were quite pessimistic about it. So looking at the agreements reached and documents signed, has your perception changed as to what position or positive change this friendship might portend for both countries?
You can see that I'm smiling. My perception have not changed. I think we should deploy our time for more critical issues. Nigeria is not in the state of normalcy. Nigeria is in the state of emergency. We are in a situation of economic emergency. So the actions of our leaders should showcase that we are in an emergency situation. The trip to Qatar is not an emergency trip. It's not a critical intervention in our economy. Qatar, you can see what was signed about museum, about gas, about this. We are talking about gas and whatever. Qatar is not even among the JVs, you know, the joint venture companies, JVCs that we have in Nigeria. So why are we not talking to the JVCs? Why are we not talking to the countries who we have had more than 60 years of exploration of our gas and natural resources with? These are the countries we're talking to. What is the influence? What is the exchange of trade between Nigeria and Qatar? What market does Qatar have? Qatar doesn't have a market for us. We are huge. So we should be talking to countries that are huge like us. So the only people that will start to benefit anything from any agreement signed with Qatar is Qataris, not Nigerians. So even if we have oil to push or we have whatever products to push to Qatar, what is their population? That population is not even up to one of the smallest states in Nigeria. So I still maintain my stand that this is not the kind of trip we should be making.
But then, Dr. Idoke, let's just quickly look at the areas where discussions were held. They talked about education, enterprise development, investment promotion, youth empowerment, mining, tourism, and sports. So are these not critical areas or capacities that both countries can further improve, looking at these sectors, and they can benefit from?
No. Qatar has nothing to offer us in those sectors. When you check this trajectory of Nigerians, human resources, where we are heading to, these are the countries we'll be talking to develop these areas you just listed. Where are the Nigerian human professional resources going to? Let's take sports. Where are Nigerian sports people going to? How many of Nigerian sports people are in Qatar? Nigerian sports people are scattered. Let's take the football, for example. The leagues in England, Italy, Germany, and some of these countries in Europe and America, and even Saudi Arabia has more to offer than Qatar. How many of our footballers are playing Qatar? Our footballers have been playing more in African leagues like in Tunisia and in Egypt than Qatar. So that is the area of sport. When you talk about other areas, for example, education, What is the percentage of, when you check the percentage of Nigerians that are living in Nigeria to study abroad, and you juxtapose it with how many of them are going to Qatar, you find out that it's so infinitesimal. There's nothing there. So if we're talking about education collaboration and improvement of education, we should be talking to UK, we should be talking to United States of America, we should be talking to Canada, we should be talking to Australia, we should be talking to Germany.
Dr. Igboke,
that's where Nigerians go for studies.
Dr. Igboke, some people will say it is better to start from somewhere than to not start at all. But then let me just quickly relay with you what the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, that is Nigerian Galali, said. And he said that President Bola Tinubu assured of Nigeria's preparedness to welcome investors into the country from Qatar. Now, judging by government's policies and the current economy, do you think that Nigeria will be able to secure investments from Qatar in whatever form, guise, or size?
Whatever investment Qatar is bringing to Nigeria will not be for the benefit of Nigeria. It will be for the benefit of Qatar. So as usual, we are desperate, so we are thinking of opening up. They will come here, pick whatever they want to do to enhance their own economy and move away, because we have nothing to offer them in return. So we should be going for balance of scale here. And so if Qatar comes here, if Nigeria wants to reciprocate, let's talk of gas, for example. Qatar has gas. We talk about agriculture. Nigeria has more space for agriculture than Qatar. So whatever Qatar is coming to pitch here is what they're going to take back to their place. So we should be talking of countries that have a far advantage in economic scale than Nigeria. And that is where we can get things from. I read somewhere in the news that even at war, Ukraine was giving us some tons of wheat. So this is an opportunity to say, instead of giving us tons of wheat, you are in war. Come, let's see how we can synergize. Bring some of your people to teach, to train our farmers, and let's do some, some demonstration farms, so that we can teach our people in every local government, for example, so that we can start off how to grow with the best practices that is current. Those are the kind of engagements you should be having. And so for me, going to Qatar is a show. It has nothing to offer us. Rather, Qatar, we gain more. So we don't need anything. The Qatar doesn't need anything from us. And basically, if not that we behave the way we behave, we don't need anything from Qatar.
Okay,
we need things from people. We need to have JBCs from people that we have serious bilateral relationships with. We don't have any
you're saying that Qatar does not need anything from Nigeria, but then you know that Nigeria boasts of a huge human resource, and that's its population. And the president used the opportunity to speak highly of Nigerian youth, saying they're energetic, they're educated, they're willing to work, they're willing to offer their services and all. So don't you think that that is one area that probably might just bring about a possibility of creating jobs, gainfully employing Nigerian youths in this regards, where we have Qatari business owners come to Nigeria, establish their businesses, and provide opportunity of jobs for our teeming youth? So don't you think there's anything good that can come to Nigeria in that regards?
Let's just streamline what we are talking about here. Where do Nigerian youths go to look for jobs? Which countries can accommodate the immigration of Nigerian youths? And that is why there are countries that they focus on. They focus on in the UK. I've mentioned them: Canada, USA, even Saudi Arabia. They focus more even for Dubai. They focus for even Eastern Europe, like Hungary. They go to Hungary. They go to, before Ukraine went to war, many of them were in Ukraine. They are Italy. So what we come to do, we are supposed to go to those countries that are already destination for our teeming youth, to go negotiate for them. That is what countries do. But to go negotiate for better job offers for Nigerians.
Then, Dr. Igboke, you know that these...
We are going to Qatar for what?
Dr. Igboke, you know that these countries have started...
Like what, India?
Dr. Igboke, these countries that you mentioned have started coming up with policies. They've started amending their policies and the constitution to restrict such benevolence or benefits that other countries can get from them. So when we have these restrictions and embargoes, how do you expect Nigeria to go to them, approach them, to try to strike a deal with them, have this bilateral relationship with them, when they are also coming up with policies that restrict Nigeria and other African countries from coming to them?
Exactly my point. We are not coming to the same point. they are doing these policies because Nigeria is not even engaging them enough. These countries we have had, look at UK, for example, we have had bilateral relationship with UK for God knows when, over 100 years, running 200 years. We have, today, UK is part of the JVC that we are running. The same thing with countries like France. So we go to these people, we now negotiate with them for our youth. Some of these policies, have government engaged any of them in some of these policies? And to the best of my knowledge, no. When they brought out such policies 2 years ago, did any government go to them to say, okay, look, these are our people, just like what India is doing for their citizens in the US and the rest. You need to engage. When you have things to offer, you need to engage. We have everything in this country. Europe is cutting us. Canada is cutting us. America is cutting us. Every country wants to be friend. China wants to be here. Russia wants to be here. We have everything, and every country wants to engage with Nigeria. So why are we belittling ourselves? That is my point here. Okay. So we are not supposed to even sit behind and for them to even give those policies. It's because we are not properly engaging. That is why they are coming up with such policies and treating us as if we are little, as if we are down there when we are up there. So we should realize that we are up there. We are the eagle, and we shouldn't play the cat down there.
All right, Dr. Ambrose Igboke, thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for having me.